minions, when we last left off, we had just fought a whole bunch of rare monsters, and we took our submarine down here into Walrus Tower, the sunken Walrus Tower. And Whiskers thinks that he can hold his breath for about 7 minutes, which is pretty amazing because not only can he hold his breath for that long, but he can hold his breath while doing exertion, while exerting himself, such as walking down this fighting monsters. So yeah, Whiskers is he got some good lung capacity on him. And the rest of the party members too. Monsters we fight here are pretty easy. They're just kind of monsters we fought when we initially went through this tower, and also some that are like sea monsters. Now there's a boss at the bottom of this tower. If you don't have the exit spell, you might want to save this chest right up there to the north, because when you open that chest, you get like a refresh of oxygen, and it refreshes the timer back to 7 minutes. But I'm just gonna pick it up now because once I beat the boss, I'm just gonna warp on out of here. Now, there's 2 reasons why we're coming into this place. One, remember when the tower sank, when the crystal shattered a long time ago, right before the tower sank, there was that one piece of crystal that we couldn't reach. Well, now we can finally reach it. And 2, we were told that that mimic person who we met in Carwin, he or she or it said that it was going to this tower. So, see if we can find them. And took it a little fast there, but basically someone says like the 3rd act and the crystal is within my grasp. My name is Go-Go, mimic extraordinaire. The basis the very soul of mimicry is the ability to aptly imitate anything, no matter the situation. Thus, I will imitate your every move. When you attack, I will attack. When you cast a spell, I'll cast a spell. Could you imitate me, you certainly win. More likely, it'll be curtains for you. This is Go-Go. He is really, really tough, if you don't know what to do. Now there's about 6 minutes on the clock. If you just mimic him and do absolutely nothing, like he's doing here. Oh, bravo, bravo. Perfect, just lovely. You've seen me doing nothing. And now copying that nothing yourselves. Rather, you're doing perfectly nothing. Perfectly! Yes, you feel it, the essence of mimicry. I give you my blessing to continue on the path of imitation. Adieu, break a leg. And then he exiles himself to the rift. We will not meet him again. But, yeah, you can actually fight him. If you, he's kind of weak at first, but then, after you hit him for a little bit, then he starts just going into, like, hyper mode. And, he'll counter any spells you cast on him with either Holy, Flare, or Meteor, which is the ultimate time magic. It's much better than Comet. If you attack him, then he starts attacking you, and he usually hits for, like, max damage, 9,999 hit points. What you can do is you can use you can mute him and just hammer away with spells. If you do beat him the regular way, there's YouTube videos out there doing that. You still get the same thing. He just disappears, and you get the crystal shard. And that crystal shard gives us the job class, the mime job class. It inherits all the abilities of other jobs, and where most jobs have fight, a job ability innate to that job, a 3rd slot that you can put any ability in, and the item slot. What the mimic has is the mimic has a mimic as its fight command, and then 3 empty slots, and you can put anything you want on them. So you can put like blue magic, white magic, black magic, throw, any other ability on there. So, but anyway, here we are. We're in the ocean here at the Great Sea Trench, and this is the object of where the 3rd tablet is. And of course, we have to fight some gargoyles. We're old pros at this now. Deeper than the bottom of the sea, yet enveloped by flame, one tablet resides. This is undersea volcano. And this is actually a pretty neat dungeon. I guess undersea volcanoes tend to make good dungeons. Another nice undersea volcano, which is pretty cool, is in the Final Fantasy Legend 2. They have a undersea volcano dungeon in the one world, so yeah, it's pretty neat. So if you have a bard is an excellent class for this dungeon, because every single enemy we're going to be running into, including the boss, they're all undead. That Requiem song puts a real big hurting on them. And every single enemy in this area is known as the undead, and there's 5 different types of undeads. The first one here, he's like pink and he's like spitting up some goo. The only thing about this guy is you don't want to hit him with physical attacks. If you hit him with physical attacks, he can do this thing called Banish, and that basically removes one of your characters from combat. So, yeah, not a very good thing to have happen. So, we're lucky we have a lot of spellcasters in our party, so we're just going to hit them with our spells and take them out. Now, being undead, you'd think they'd be weak to fire, but unfortunately, none of these unknowns have a weakness to fire. So, but we'll just hit them with those spells anyway. So, get our first treasure, a water scroll. That's something a ninja can throw. And we run into our second type of unknown enemy, the enemy 170. These guys are not really all that special. They can use a constrict move, which basically ties up your characters. I believe they can also poison your characters too, because they're snakes. But otherwise, not too difficult. So the more difficult ones will come down a little bit later. And here we go. I'm just gonna keep wandering our way around here. Now, you would think that yeah, it's an undersea volcano. There's probably gonna be some lava again around here later. And guess what, minions? You're right. There will be lava. I found a way to deal with lava. Now, you can have the Geomancer, and if the Geomancer's in your party, you can just, walk on lava without getting hurt. But I realized that, hey, you don't want to hit that switch to me. If you hit that switch, the bridge breaks, and you're basically forced to go into the lava. So, yeah, don't do that. But anyway, if you all have to go into the lava, I realized that, hey, like in Final Fantasy IV, you can use the float spell, and that can float you above the lava without taking damage. And I have that ability because the blue as a time mage. So we have 2 types of enemies. We have the unknowns, and then the unknown Spore 1 and Spore 2. They both have the same sprites. The only way you can tell them apart is one has magic and one does not. You see, the one has 500 MP, the other one doesn't have no MP. When they're in groups of 3 like that, they're a mixture, and sometimes you can, they try to cast a delta attack for damage on you. You want to hit this switch up here. All the other switches drop you down into pits. You want to hit that switch there because it makes this lava bridge appear, over the lava, and we get a flame ring, which basically makes you strong against fire, and I think resist ice, and but is weak against water. We do want to, you could hit on those buttons, hit the button that I did there, and you'll drop down to the floor below. Some of the other buttons drop you into the lava. You don't want that, but it's a shortcut to get down to this floor, so I'll take it. So I took that little shortcut. This area also kind of reminds me a little bit of the cave to the Esper Cave in Final Fantasy VI. We'll get to all those games later that this place reminds me of. But yeah, if you ever play that game, you realize that there's probably a lot of inspiration taken from this. There's lava, there's switches, there's disappearing platforms, yeah. And here's the last of the undead, 172. He's the skeleton that hangs from the ceiling. He's basically the strongest, but he can do something kind of dumb. One thing he tries to do is he tends to want to cast the Doom spell on you. And what that does is it basically puts a timer on your character. And in 30 seconds, after 30 seconds, your character will be knocked out. And So the thing that he does that's dumb is, say he casts a Doom on Lena, and then she'll have like, 30 seconds to live, it says. And then maybe you get down to like 20 seconds, and he might cast Doom again, but he might cast it again on Lena, and that gives her another 30 seconds. So now she has 50 seconds to live. So sometimes he actually, is counterproductive to his own, his own status there, his own Doom status. Well, he's actually giving you extra time to live. But even with just 30 seconds, he's not that tough that you shouldn't be able to finish him off before all your character, before one of your characters gets knocked out. So, and there we go. We've met all the new enemies in this area. They're all undead, so like I said, if you have a bard, you can use that Requiem spell, song, and it does deal massive damage. So like in Final Fantasy IV, in some of the underworld dungeons, there's damage tiles, and you can use the float to float above them. And I didn't even think to do that back in Extet's castle. It would have saved me a whole bunch of hit points and hit points and high potions. But hey, you live and you learn. And speaking of learning, we just learned some new jobs, mastered some new jobs. So we're gonna switch our characters around a little bit there. Whiskers now only has to master the chemist job, and he'll learn that eventually later. But everybody else is learning their jobs pretty good. Faris only has to finish mastering Black Mage, so we'll throw her on that. And Lena has a little bit more Chemist and Beastmaster to learn, and Krill right there. She is what is she? I forget what I put her at. Oh, I think. Oh yeah, she's the Chemist. So, but she only has to. I forget what job she has to master. Well, she might have to have all the jobs mastered, so we'll see. But there we get another treasure chest, the Phoenix down. And we keep walking around here. And remember how we were told back in Crescent that there's the dwarfs? Well, hey, here's the dwarfs right here. And they have some good equipment here. Oh yeah, Krill is the chemist. She only has to master the chemist. So, yeah, pretty much... most people only have to master one more job, so... Yeah, let's see here. We want to get a few more of these, some white robes and some black robes. The white, the skinnier one is the garb, and that's for, like, your physical fighters. And then the bigger icon one is the mage type equipment. So we actually want to get a few more white shirts because they're a little bit better than the black shirts. So as you can see, guess we'll keep, let's see, trying to think. The strength is good, but we'll keep the white shirt on her. So, but yeah, but most of the equipment here we unfortunately can't use. It's mainly for, like, fighters and stuff like that. But hey, we can get some upgrades here with some of the robes. So hey, might as well. So, and another thing is what's I thinking of saying here? So yeah, most of the time this is we're pretty much good for equipment. Most of the rest of the equipment, we won't need to buy any. Won't be buying too much more equipment, so, so back here with the dwarves, they weren't necessarily a myth like everyone was thinking they were. They really do exist, but it's a really small kingdom, so they actually even call it a kingdom, so... and a good thing it has a little save point here for us. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an inn, but we can use a cottage here with a save point. So, and of course, that means, of course, the boss is coming up soon. So, evil bosses. But you want to make sure that you talk with all of these dwarves, because one of them will unlock a side quest, and another one, if this is your first time playing through the game, will give you a good idea of where that hidden village in the forest is. That guy just basically says there's only 5 dwarves in this kingdom, but it's a fine kingdom. Lolly ho! Know anything about the magic lamp? If you take it back to where it's from, the lamp's power will be refreshed. Lolly! Lolly-ho! Rallybo is digging a tunnel, Lolly. He said it would let you go around the wall, but why would you want to? Because it'd be fun. Be a nice long trip. And that guy unlocks the magic lamp quest. And the magic lamp, when you get it, what it does is you rub it and basically it uses as an item in battle, and it casts a summon from the most strongest summon, eventually down to the weakest summon. And you can refresh it by just returning it back to where you found it, and it recharges itself. So it's a good way for non-summoner classes to be able to use some summons. And here's Rollybo. I never worried about it much until now, but it seems like there's something oddest happening above ground, Lolly. I'm sure a forest is above us. And if we look on the map, it's kind of right in the middle of that little circle there. There's a little dot glowing, and he said there's a forest above. Well, we were also told in Crescent, where we were told about the dwarves, that where dwarves might exist, that there's rumors of a village that can appear in a forest. So that kind of pinpoints the forest where this mysterious village is. So we're going to have to go back to that forest once we finish up this dungeon here, and try to find that mysterious village. And now, of course, because the boss is coming up, always save your game, minions. Now, this boss, he can be pretty tough or pretty easy, depending on your class. If you have a bunch of bards, you can sing them to death. If you have a summoner, you can use that Odin summon that we got, and it can instant kill all of them. But we'll talk a little bit more about him well, actually, I should say them when we get to them. But first we have to go through this kind of a little puzzle room here. So, just checking out our jobs. Lena's almost mastered the Beastmaster. Once she masters Beastmaster, then all she'll have to do is finish the final job level of Chemist. And we have to go north up there. That's the way to go. So if you head up there and you try to open the door by hitting the treasure chest, it just knocks you down there. So you gotta somehow lock that door. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go through all this lava. Good thing we can have float, or if you have a geomancer, and you have to hit all these switches. And once you hit all the switches, or at least 3 of them, the 3 here that I'm hitting first, the chest will kind of lock and you won't fall into that trap anymore. There's another switch off to the upper right, but that switch, what it does is it opens up a door. It opens up the door to that stairway right here that I just pointed up to, and that'll let us get to that final treasure chest in this area. So we hit that switch, badonk, and of course it opens up this door for us, and we can get this little final treasure chest. The Kaiser Knuckles, it helps increase the attack power. It's an accessory. It helps increase the attack power of like your bare fists. So if you're like a monk, it's pretty good. But we don't have monks, of course. So, but if you have a monk and you like using bare-handed fists, or you have like a mage who has the bare fist ability inherited from a monk, you might want to use that. So, but we're not. What we do want to use is we want to have a whole bunch of black magic on all our characters, because it'll be important for all of our characters to be able to multi-target the boss, because the boss is going to be like the gargoyles, and there's going to be multiple bosses. So, here is the final tablet. Make sure we healed ourselves up. And then when we heal ourselves up, we'll be ready to go. And let's grab the 3rd tablet. And uh-oh, oink oink. X just sent us oink. Told us to kill you, oink oink. Orders, you know, nothing personal, oink. Oink oink oink. And here we have the 3 little piggies, which are named after like Greek myth things, like some Triton, I believe, is a sea-type nymph, and Triton is the red one up there. It is weak versus ice. All of them have the same hit points and same magic points. They have different levels, though, and different weaknesses. And so we have Triton, and then Nearest and Phobe. They're also Greek mythology type name things. Near it is the purple one. He is weak against fire. The one who's red is weak against ice. And then the green one there, Phobos, he is weak against earth. So you might think, well, hey, let's just concentrate all our firepower on one. But that's not good, because these guys are like the gargoyles. If you take one of them out, they'll just revive them. So you want to be able to take them out all at the same time. So in order to do that, basically what we're going to do is going to be using the Bolt spell. Because none of them are strong against Bolt. None of them are weak against Bolt at the same time. But the point is, none of them will absorb it. So like say if we had a multi-targeting fire, well, the purple one and the green one would take damage from the fire, but then the red one would absorb it. If we hit him with an ice spell, well, then the red one and the green one would take damage, but the purple one would absorb it. So we'd be healing one and damaging the other two, and that would go against the whole point of trying to take them out all at the same time. So the best thing to do, like I said, is to target them with the spell that will deal damage to all of them and heal none of them. And the only spell that we have that really can do that is the Bolt spell, the Bolt 3 spell. Comet has really weak damage, and you can't really target it. It could hit any of them, so that's unreliable. And you can't multi-target your flare, so unfortunately we're stuck using the Bolt 3. It's still important though to realize that the elemental weaknesses though, because you may not actually take them all out at the same time. As you can see, some of the damage varies, and in this instance, in this playthrough that I'm doing right here, I actually take out the purple and the green one at the same time, but the red one, Triton, is still left around. Well, I know that he is weak to ice, so I can hit him real quick with an ice spell, which is his weakness, before he's able to revive his brothers. Same thing that would have happened, say I would have knocked out the red and the green one, then I know, okay, use a quick fire spell on near it, the purple one. And unfortunately, I don't have any earth spells to take out Phobos there, but I could just, hit him with like a bio spell or something. So, yeah. So it's still important to recognize about the elemental weaknesses. That Requiem spell just really tears through these guys, because they're all considered undead. And surprisingly, they are weak to, like I said, instant death. If you have that Odin summon, you have a summoner, you can use Odin, and he uses this Zangetsu move, the one that he used against us, and it instant deaths all of them. So that's an easy way to take care of them. But we don't have any way to, I mean, we could do instant death with like a death potion, but we don't have, to target all of them at the same time. We'd have to do it one at a time, and by the time we probably got one of them taken out, or even two of them taken out, the other one would revive them. So we're just gonna have to unfortunately do it the hard way here. As you can see, they have a few damaging attacks, so it's important that sometimes we may have to take a break to use our mages as healers. Luckily, Krill is the best healer because she has that innate ability to double the effectiveness of any item that she uses. So that's pretty good. Chemist is actually a pretty good class. And we got hit by fire. As you can see, Krill had that flame ring on, so she actually got healed by that fire there. And then that blaze, she resisted it because the fire resists the ice. So yeah, so it's pretty good. We're gonna buy a few more of those elemental rings when we get to a town that does sell them. So, but so far, no town really has sold them. Well, Lix sold some of them, but that town got sucked up. So now we know here, look, near it, Triton is the only one left. We know that he is weak to ice, so before he can revive his brothers, let's hit him with a good Ice 3 spell, and boom, we've taken out this boss, got 20 ability points, and more importantly, we got the 3rd tablet! And something is written on the tablet. The ultimate magic, time magic, Meteor. That gives much better damage than the Comet spell, more consistent. And speaking of time magic, hey, let's use some of that time magic to just warp ourselves out of here because we don't feel like walking out. So let's do that. Use our happy little time magic and get out of here. And where will we go here? Well, we know that there's that forest. We kind of got pinpointed off, so let's turn our boat into the airship, and we'll fly over here and head south to where this forest was, and we'll land here and we'll look for that hidden village in our next episode. Take care, minions. Bye!